Okay, we're going to pick up here, full self-driving in my Tesla Model Y. Headed up to work, from this point, 26-minute drive. What will happen is we're approaching Interstate 25 here in Colorado Springs, Colorado, off of a pretty busy street sometimes in the morning. Coming up here closer to the interstate, it's had some construction that's been going on, and so seeing how it can navigate around that. But we will be getting onto Interstate 25, so seeing how the car can merge onto the interstate from this point. So right now, traveling in the middle lane of this street. This is basically South Nevada. Street heads into downtown Colorado Springs, but eventually the car is going to have to get over. As you can see, there's some construction that's been going on here. Some lane shifts and things like that.
US 85 north.
But we'll see how she behaves right here. Been interesting to see how it can navigate through construction. This is I believe FSD 12.5.4.1. I think there's a new update that maybe just came out yesterday, but I have not received that update yet. But if I have to take over, I will let you know. But we got to get over though. So there she goes. Based on FSD from when I first got my car, I got this car back in May. Had the trial, see if she gets over one more time though, because I actually prefer that lane. But it's not gonna, so let's see how this works. It's a double turn lane. To get onto I-25 from here, usually I get into that left lane if I'm driving, because I have to merge to the left on the interstate. But let's see how it does. But yeah,
now turn left onto US 85.
There we go. Nope. There we go. So, off of Nevada onto I-25. This area right here has a lot of pedestrian traffic, a lot of homeless people that live off the creek right here.
US 85 north ramp on the right.
See, now it's wanting to get over, and it does. It could have kept going straight and then could have merged up there, but it decided to go ahead and get over now. But yeah, this area right here is pretty known for a lot of homeless traffic, so there's a lot of pedestrian traffic that's over here in the mornings and throughout the day. So trying to sort of see how it acts there, but I don't really see anybody out this morning. But you can kind of see where we're going though. Sitting here in the merge road to get on I-25. And I-25 can be kind of busy this time of the morning. It's 6:48 in the morning, just heading to work. So it depends on you're talking within 10 minutes where it can get pretty busy. So we can see how it navigates going north on I-25 up to where I work. Again, cones over on the left side. They've been doing a little bit of construction around this area to beef it up. There's a place up here called Motor City, for people who don't know Colorado Springs. It's actually where the Tesla dealership here is, in Colorado Springs, where I got this car. Oh, I had to disengage because that guy cut me off and I did not trust it. Don't know if that was the guy that was behind me that probably got mad when I maybe cut somebody off with full self-driving. But here we go, merging onto I-25. Sorry if it's a little shaky. I'm kind of trying to hold this little by hand. Car coming up on my left here, not getting over yet, but should be merging on now. slam on it, that truck right there, slam on its brakes. So adjust it a little for that. And if it stays in this lane here up pretty soon, there's actually a really bumpy spot, almost a little roller coaster of a bump that's on I-25. So we'll see what it does there. Sometimes I kind of hold on to the wheel a little bit, just getting a little nervous as it kind of hits through this bump. So it's going to stay in this lane, it looks like. This is the lane that's got a pretty bumpy. About to approach it right now. And it actually did a pretty good job there, because usually in autopilot it feels like it's just standard autopilot lane, lane steer, auto steer. It gets a little dicey on that bump, but FSD was able to take that bump pretty well. But now we're just kind of cruising along on I-25 going north. I'm going to go ahead and take us into full screen here. Kind of see what else we can see. If we got stuff. And I got the, the attention awareness is on, so the green dot up here in the top left corner. So I don't have to touch the wheel, but I'll take us all the way up to when I get off the interstate, and that's kind of where we'll end. So we got about, I would say, 10-15 minutes to my off-ramp heading to work, which is basically the north end of Colorado Springs. So we're kind of traveling from the south end of Colorado Springs on I-25 all the way to almost the north end of the city, so up by the United States Air Force Academy. So we'll get in. There's a little construction coming up here on this part of the interstate as well. They've been doing recently. So speed drops down to around 60 from 65. You get some people that kind of fly through that area, which is a little annoying. But see how the car handles if we got anybody who's going a little crazy, wants to be in that left lane. But we're just cruising along here in the middle lane. And a lot of times in the morning, I'm going to usually have to get over back and forth, because you got some slower drivers that like to stay in the right and middle lanes here on I-25. But this morning, go figure out when I decide to record, it's not going to, everybody's kind of going the speed limit. So it doesn't have to really adjust for slower drivers in front of us or slower cars. Right? But we'll wait till we get through this construction and I'll bump up the max speed a little bit. But clear morning. I was driving the other morning when I think I put a YouTube short out where it maxed me out at 70 miles an hour because it was a little bit of rain. It wasn't even that, the road wasn't even that wet, but a few brake lights ahead here, so we're slowing down. And we're getting over into the faster lane. So there we go, like I said. So this is where the construction is right now. Not 100% sure what they're doing to the road around here, but it's kind of this stretch between what's considered, we'll call it Fillmore Street and Garden of the Gods here in Colorado Springs, but kind of working on this area. So it's supposed to be 60 miles an hour, and I don't think the car has adjusted for that necessarily, but that's perfectly fine to me as we cruise along. But with these newer updates of full self-driving, great visualizations on the Tesla screen. So this is a Model Y, 2024 Model Y that I got back in May. It's actually my first Tesla. Moving into the EV world. Especially, I got a newer job here north. About 25 to 30 minutes away from where I live. I'm here in the city, so it's nice to have a car that is obviously not gas and dependable. And mornings like this, where I can halfway enjoy my coffee while we're driving, and not necessarily have to pay too much attention to the road. Obviously, still paying attention. I'm waiting to see if the car will get back out of the fast lane here and back into the middle lane, but I'm going to bump up the speed a little bit too. Go to 70. But you can force it. So if you don't know how to do that, put your turn signal on. You can force the lane change when there's a car coming up on the right solo lane. It's actually one of the features I think I like the most. If it's just getting the car over when you want to get it over. Still obviously driving it autonomously. So we're going to force the lane change. Kind of show that visualization graphic as it gets the car over. But the future is autonomous, but sometimes you still like to have a little bit of control in situations, especially on a fast interstate like this, where people get a little angry if you're driving in the left, the far left lane in the fast lane, and you're not going as fast as they want you to go. Sometimes I can go almost 80 miles an hour in that lane, and I'm still getting tailgated coming up this road. For people that want to know, let's see if I can get the view out there, Pikes Peak out there on the left for you. Nice little view. But we are cruising along. Yeah, from when I first got this car back in May, I can't remember what version of FSD was on there, to the version that is now installed. Even in those few months, you can kind of see the big difference as Tesla has updated these versions of the full self-driving, on the control and the decision making that the car has when it comes to this. Speed up 72, because it'll switch to 75 miles an hour up here in about a mile and a half, I believe. Well, especially because this is where the state troopers like to hang out in the mornings as well, is right around this curve. So we just passed one there. Typically under this bridge up here is where they like to hang out, so I think they're typically catching people coming around that curve. And especially since it changes to 75 up here. The car's merging on to the interstate from North Academy, and it slowed down there for these guys. I think they might have had their blinkers on and wasn't paying too much attention there. But the car adjusts a little bit, especially if it thinks that it's, these guys are going to keep moving over, and kind of put on the brakes a little bit, or the regenerative braking. One thing I have noticed is about this point, this is where it goes from 65 to 75, and I haven't really seen it adjust the max speed and the offset that I have for it. When I've seen these speed changes on the interstate, driving either up to work or home from work. So about right here is where it's going to change, and the max speed should offset, but I haven't seen that happen yet. Hopefully this will be the morning. So it has changed, but I'm still rolling at 72 when it comes to my max speed there, if you can see that. So I've been having to kind of adjust that on my own. So not sure if that's a setting. If that is a setting, somebody can let me know in a comment to get it to do that. Because I was playing around with them the other day when I engaged all this and did not see anything like that. But we got about 3 more miles here before we get off I-25, and that's kind of where we'll end. But just heading to work here on a Wednesday morning on I-25 here in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Let's see what it gets me over to get me off the interstate. This is the version that does have actually smart summon. Used that the other day. I'll make a video about that to smart summon my car to me from a parking lot. Did it in a empty parking lot just for the first time. Never obviously played with that yet, and it was quite interesting. It was fun. So I'll make a video about that as well to demonstrate that. Hopefully maybe try to record from inside the car as it's summoning to me. So maybe this weekend we'll make that video. But we're about to get off here in about 1.3 miles onto Northgate Boulevard. The United States Air Force Academy is off to my left. But we'll get the car off and then we'll kind of end this video. See if it try to goes around this truck here, because this guy's going pretty slow. We got about 0.7 miles to the exit. I did notice that the other morning it tried to do something like that. But our exit is up here. So I think as the car and the software has learned to, learn more about the routes and driving behaviors of people. But here we go, getting off, and we're behind him too. So, but yeah, there you go. That's a little drive north on I-25 in Colorado Springs. With FSD, I believe 12.5.4.1 is what is installed on my Model Y. But there you go. Until next time.